Righty. So, should be recording. Right, we are recording.
Always like to do that.
All right, so, good morning.
Yo.
Welcome to the Inspiration Box podcast, version 2.0. We had a little trouble figuring out
Mic situation.
the mic,
But
we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
Listen, life is all about experimentation.
That's
So
it.
we try with what we have and we keep it moving. So we're not even using the mics that we usually would use. We're hoping this records through okay, and if it doesn't, and you only hear the air conditioning from this building, you know, such as life.
But
But
that's what this is all about.
Exactly.
Like, just doing things real as they are. In real life. Not high production. But yeah,
no high production.
it's okay.
Not needed. So, as always, I'm going to ask you how you're feeling. What's the weather in your mind? I can tell you, for me, there's a calm before the storm.
Storm is coming, yeah?
There is a massive storm coming this weekend.
Yeah.
I am starting a new job on Monday, which is great. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I need to braid my hair. I need to sort out my assignments for my masters. I need to sort out my house or my flat, like just tidy it up a little bit, make sure I'm ready to hit Monday, like fresh. Need to go see my family. Like there's just a whole madness that I need to do in about 48 hours. So yeah, feeling really calm right now, but this weekend is gonna be a madness. So yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, it's reflected. Yeah, it's sunny right now outside. I feel right now, I've just come off of a 2-week break,
Nice.
you know, so that gave me time to do fewer things, you know,
Okay.
just a clear deadline. Didn't go away, it's home, but catch up with family,
Yeah.
friends, read certain books, watch certain, binge certain Netflix series, just you know that stuff that you're like,
Just
I've got to
chill.
do, just chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, fresh off of that, so I feel sunny right now. But similar to you, I know it's going to ramp up again. So, question I'll ask myself and for you is, what you need to do in the next couple of days to make sure that storm is a light breeze.
Boy. I think that I'd like to say that I would plan it all out and make sure that I'm going to do this at this time, this at that time, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is that it's not the case. But I think I just need to prioritize.
Right.
So I've got certain things that need to get done. I need to braid my hair because it's just going to make my life a lot easier for the next couple of weeks. So that needs to get done. That's been booked in, so I know it's going to happen. I need to sort out my assignments. If I'm going to get my master's, I need to get the grades. I need to do the work. But I feel like I'm in an all right place with that. So it's just like taking the time to actually prioritize and not have more than a few priorities, because I think, you know, I can write my to-do list and it can go on forever, but what are the main things that I need to focus on? But then also give myself that space to breathe.
Right.
So I'm not going to be back to back and say I'm not going to sit down and like take half an hour to watch some Netflix show or, you know, I'm not going to sit down and, you know, actually cook a meal and enjoy that thing. Like, I need to kind of like balance it a little bit. So yeah, that's the plan. How about you?
I mean, it's important to prioritize. I think for me, and it kind of sits with what I want to like tap into today. There will be, you know, we'll go through storms and circumstances, right? And I'd say probably the last few months, things have been a bit peak sometimes, and we kind of get washed away, pulled about. You know, like, I don't get stressed, and it's a lot, and the world is on a madness right now. So I'm thinking, despite circumstance and how busy we are, potentially some stress we are, how do we like maintain a posture, you know, through that. In terms of like standing tall. Or end of the day, it's gonna be an intense couple of weeks, but you'll get it done because of who you are. You know, you always get it done.
Absolutely.
So it's like, how do we stand in that and remind ourselves, no matter what's going on, I will prioritize. I will get what needs to get done. I will hit my master grades. I'll get that done. My hair will get did. Anything else that is pushed up or pushed to be utmost importance for someone else, then it's a conversation.
Yeah.
But how can we give ourselves the sort of ratings now to set us up for the next couple of weeks to say it's going to be mad, but I'm going to get that done. Sometimes it's the other way around. Like, how am I going to get it done? And then you're in it and you're doing it. You're like, stress. So I think, and the last episode was, I walked away with the idea that I'm going to write, do my reflection every single day consistently.
Yeah, how was that?
I did it consistently, which is good for me.
Love that.
It was.
I love that view.
It just goes to show the accountability, and doing that, I think it helps me realize, despite what's happening, what we have for that gratitude. Right? So when I'm thinking about how do I set myself up for success in the next phase or weeks or whatever, I've kind of put myself in a position where I can say, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I do it, right? And then plan from there. And I think during the storms or when it's peak and busy, that's what's going to keep me in my posture.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to reprioritize this. Okay, that hasn't worked. Need to course correct. All right, cool. But it's got to be done from a position whereby I'm feeling like I've got it.
Yeah.
I know who I am, right?
I guess it's about like that sense of feeling grounded.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like knowing that despite the storms or the madness, we're like an oak tree. Our roots are grounded in, and you know exactly what it is you want to do, where it is you want to go, the direction you're going in, and so you'll weather the storm. You absolutely will weather the storm. You almost know you have no choice, and even when it feels like all your branches are breaking, you still know that you'll be all right. And it sounds like the gratitude piece from doing the writing every day has helped to kind of like, really ground you in the space.
Yeah, man. And we're in a month of abundance, right? In terms of our food. And you can feel more grounded when you have that sense of abundance. I've got a lot in my toolbox to deal with whatever comes my way. When it's the other way, then that's when it's more of a challenge. So it just kind of compounds the real importance of reflecting and having that gratitude and trying to be in that state of abundance.
Absolutely. And I think there's an element of putting yourself first.
100%.
So I'm looking directly at the camera and I'm talking loud so you can hear me. Put yourself first. Put yourself first. Can you hear me? Let me say it again. I want to make sure you catch me over the egg. Put yourself first. And I don't know, sometimes it can feel, I don't know, like, I used to have such a negative connotation with the word selfish. And now I'm like, no.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's honestly like, we have to relearn or reassociate, recondition our understanding or appreciation for the word selfish.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not at the expense of others.
No.
Like, we're told we're in this sort of finite space, so it's a finite amount of something, energy, money. So if I'm taking from someone else,
Yes.
It's absolutely yes. We have to be selfish. But how do we do that?
I think for me, it's come about by recognizing that by pouring into my own cup, I then have capacity to pour into others. So that idea that like my cup is so full, it's overflowing. And like that abundance, right? And it's overflowing in a way that I can now give to others, or I can now have capacity to help the rest of the world or whoever is in my world. But, you know, if my cup isn't flowing or I'm not pouring into myself, I'm not able to fully give anyone else parts of myself. And it's not fair on them, but it's also not fair on me. So it's been a mindset shift. And I've been, like, I'm great at telling other people, oh, you need to put yourself first.
Right.
Put yourself first. But, you know, it took a while for me to be like, when did you last put yourself first, babe?
And it's when you're in that, when you're in a good place, right? It's you can flip it to other people. Yeah, you put yourself first. But how do we listen to ourselves to know my cup is empty?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I think we've normalised being stressed and anxious and fearful and just carrying on. We don't. Are we aware of the signals like, yo, wow, that's a trigger, or man's not okay? And I'll speak to my cohort, men, in the sense that we're so stoic sometimes that we don't look at the signals like I'm lashing out or I'm agitated or I'm irritated. But, you know, how do we associate that to I need to kind of just go do me a little bit and just get that to a point where I'm not agitated, I'm not on edge, I'm not lashing out at my kids or my partner or my friends.
Yeah.
Because that's the importance of being selfish enough to recognize, no, I'm not in this kind of, I'm getting some time.
Yeah.
I think for me, that it is that daily self-reflection. Like, where's my energy? You know, how was my day? What triggered me? And actually let me take stock of what is good in my life, so that I can then say, actually, you know what, I feel like that, but when I pray it really properly and write it down, okay, cool. Tomorrow I'm gonna come with a different energy. And then again, daily process.
I think it's that learning about yourself or acknowledging yourself and understanding the nuances as to what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Being able to reflect on it allows you to know that you're not going in a particular area, in a particular direction again. You're like, actually, this triggered me today. It didn't feel good. I'm going to avoid doing that next time. Or I'm going to learn from it for next time. So I think there's that idea of, like, you know, just reflection is great and gratitude is great, but it's not only for the good things, it's also being able to see what didn't go so well and what you could potentially improve on or adjust or, you know, recenter again and start your journey again.
I love that, recenter. Because I'm thinking how, for someone who's not on the journey that we're on, how do they start, right? And what worked for me is when one of my advisors, one of the board of directors.
Board of directors.
We'll get onto that at some
Yes.
point. Everyone needs to have a board of directors.
Amen. Even if they don't know that they're on your board of directors.
Exactly. Let's pin that for an episode. Building a boardroom. We all have values and beliefs systems, but sometimes we don't visualize or articulate it in day-to-day life, and then we're getting triggered because people are going against those values and belief systems. So one thing I did was to really double down and get to know what my value and belief systems are, and then use that to guide me to recenter me. So and it's all about integrity, right? And I think that, you know, the etymology of that word. It's about wholeness, about what works, and what works and what does not work. And it's a functional word, right? So either something that has integrity and it's working, or it doesn't. So when you're acting out of your value and beliefs, then you're out of integrity. And then to maintain your integrity is to really get close to what are my values. So if I'm being asked to do something, or someone's doing something brave with that, and saying, like, that doesn't align, I can recenter. But until we know what that is, and there's no perfect or right, it's just yours, whatever it might be. I think having that sort of distinction helps you to stand tall in a storm. Right? This is mad, but at the end of the day, I'm doing what I believe is right in my value systems. So then it gives you that sense of calm. So I think writing that down and getting clear on What are you up to? What are your belief systems?
Well, this is it. Like I think that everyone needs to have like their own personal manifesto. So I've got a manifesto for the inspiration box and for like everything basically, and it stems from the inspiration box, but it's essentially like my manifesto of life.
Right.
And I don't have it to hand, but
I've read it. You've given it to me.
Yeah,
and I've read it through, and I was like, "Yo, this is." I can tell you've put thought and work into it.
Yeah.
I read it, and it's really intentional.
Yeah.
And it resonated on so many levels.
And this is it. Like for me, I think we're the CEOs of our own lives, right? Like there's all these big companies. That's great. I call myself the chief encouragement officer as opposed to the chief executive officer of everything because, yeah, I'm not interested. But yeah, as the CEO of my life, if my life is like a company or an organization, what are my values and what is my mission? And that's why I think that like we all need like that manifesto, and it doesn't have to be long, but it's almost like your guiding light. That if you're not 100% sure what exactly your values are yet, that quote or that manifesto can really kind of help to recenter you. So there's loads of quotes. I love a quote, but there's loads of quotes that I've had that have really kind of like helped center me and make me feel like, okay, cool. This is where I'm going. And so if you don't know what your values are, or you're not sure what your values are, it might be that you find a quote that works for you. And maybe that's a challenge to everyone to kind of like think about a quote or a saying or, you know, a passage in a book or whatever it might be that really resonates with you and who you are as an individual that you could go back to at any point. So there's one which is by, I think it's Sigmund Freud, which says, out of my vulnerabilities comes my strength. And that for the longest was mine. I was like, everything I'm going through, like when it going gets tough, like it's okay because I can be vulnerable because it will allow me to bring my strengths through. So that was my kind of like guiding light. So yeah, challenge to you.
I mean, yes. I feel like I'm pretty clear on my, as a business, as an individual, seeing what my mission statement are. And the center of that is giving value to others. That's helping other people unlock their potential. Because in doing that, I unlock my own. Yeah, you know? Absolutely. I've explained, like, if there was an image in my head that would describe me, it would be the iceberg and the depth. Yeah. You know, like, do the deep work, the unknown, the darkness, like, swim there. So, you know, in tapping into my own potential, that's me saying, you don't know how deep you can really go. Yeah. So, me going deep, I want to help others unlock their own potential. Absolutely. So that's, and it's a very sort of generous approach. And I work in sales, in tech sales, which is typically deemed to be get. You know what I mean? Get someone to do something that they don't want or need to do. But I flipped it, and this is why I sometimes stand out, and I'm sometimes at issue. You know, because if I feel like I'm not offering value to my clients or to this person I'm talking to, I'll take stock and say, but this thing doesn't suit them. I know the business wants this, but in time you'll see that you build a trust and rapport with the person, and from that relationship you can then build and have a close relationship, and that's where success comes from, in my opinion. So sales is changing, and I take that into what I do at work and in life as well. How am I serving this person? I was on a call, did a masterclass yesterday to some students, and I shared that naturally I'm an introvert, right? But when I'm in rooms, I thrive. And so that networking, being in rooms, it's really hard for them. And it was for me until I flipped it. And said, if I'm in a room, it's not about me. I'm in a room trying everyone's
That
story, you know, and give
That
them
part.
the space to talk. That's a value to them.
That part.
And from there, you can see, you know what, that bangs, we could work on that.
Yeah.
Rather than me. I need to pitch, I need to get my story across, I need to close something.
Absolutely.
You know?
It's that reframe. So a couple of things. That the value piece. It's important that we know our values or we get to know our values, but we don't necessarily need to share it with the world. So you know, I don't mind. Like for me, my manifesto, I'll share it with the world, and that's good for anyone to read, to look at. But I want to reiterate the point that your values are yours.
Yeah.
And so if you choose not to share it with the world, that's for you to choose to do. That's the first thing. Second thing about value alignment and companies, and we can maybe talk about this on a separate episode about the work that you end up doing when you're working for others. I have always worked in organisations where my values have aligned, and so that's why when people look at like the work that I'm doing, they're like, "How did you find a job that is so perfect for you?" I'm like, I don't know, but actually, I do know.
Yeah, right.
It's because my values are quite strong, and I know what it is I'm looking for. And if I join an organisation and it doesn't do that, I'll find a way to make it do that. Like I will create roles and people will be like, oh, that's not how it started. And I'm like, I know, but it's how it's going. There's that piece. And then that final point I wanted to pick up on was the piece where you said it's not about you, it's about other people. There's so many things that people do and they think, oh my gosh, but what about me? What about me? What about me? And that's the kind of like selfish piece that I'm like, nah, behave. Yeah. So I, for example, I'm a good public speaker. Do I like public speaking? Absolutely not. Ezekiel, I will get so nervous before speaking in public. I am public being like a group of people at work, like a big group of people, small group of people, in front of other people.
So anxiety kicks in, real.
Listen, I will be like, there will be like, we're going live in a minute, and I'll be like, okay, cool, I need to go. I will run to the bathroom, I need to go to the bathroom, I need to live. It's a madness.
Yeah.
When I'm doing it in front of kids and young people, they're like, you're actually crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'll be the first, like, 10 seconds before, I'll be on there going like, whoo, 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 it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine. And then I'll hear them in my ear, 3, 2, 1, I'll be like, and good afternoon, welcome to. And the kids are like, what just happened? What has happened? And do you know how I flipped it? It's not about me. It's about what I can bring to the table to help others. And when I flip it like that, then it makes life a whole lot easier. Do I stop being nervous? No, but I know it's part of what I have to do to be able to get the message, whatever that message is, to more people. And so that's kind of like the tough pill that I have to swallow. And it is not free. Like, honestly, like, I feel like if people were to do like a show of like Ramat before she goes on, it would be mad.
I've seen it.
Yeah, to be fair, you have. It's ridiculous because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think it's such a step change.
Yeah.
Step change. When you're on stage about to speak and you're worried about, am I saying the right words? Do I look okay? Do I look nervous? Are I engaged? Am I telling them what they need to hear? Am I being authentic to share my story? What do I want people to leave with? Yeah. It's just your energy flips.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and
it's that abundantly giving, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's that sort of like mindset. So
I think that's the next one. It's the final weekend.
Yeah.
How do we give from the place of overflowing? So we know the gratitude, the acceptance. You know, how do we stand tall based on values? And then once we've got that posture, then how do we get into that mode of actually giving? What can we do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I need to actually upload our episodes onto something so others can actually listen to it. But as you all heard, I'm starting a new job, so there's been a lot.
It's going to be a bulk upload.
Yeah, it's going to be a bulk upload. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, April was sick, and I'm like, yeah, it was great. So I need to take that action to kind of like add that to my list. It's not a priority, is the reality, right? And that's us being real and being honest as we do this, as we grow through this.
But this is evergreen. Because we say April abundance. Yes, April happened, but you can listen. It's not.
It's true. There's no actual timestamp.
Yeah, exactly. not consistent. We're just framing.
We're just framing it around, yeah.
Around.
But I do need to get them up. Like,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I need to get them up on the podcast apps and on YouTube at some point as well. So I need to do that. So that's going to be my thing that I'm going to be working on in the background. And then, yeah, we will catch up next week. So in terms of takeaways, how are you planning to stand tall in the next week?
You know, I like that you have your written manifesto. So I've got mine in there. But I think the act of daily journaling for gratitude is powerful. So I'm going to take that down, put it, write it down, make it real.
Yeah.
And I think everyone should aim to see themselves as a CEO of their company. What is your mission statement? Start building that out.
Absolutely.
And then you need to start talking about board of directors. Because that's how we stand tall. We need a foundation, we need a value that we're consistent with, and we can check back against, we can be accountable for. So no matter the storm, no matter the issues, circumstance, this is the path I want. What do I need to do to course correct? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it down on paper. Stick that up.
I like it.
On the wall.
I like it. I like it.
That's my next mission.
I like it. I am going to. I'm just going to get through the next couple of days. I think I'm just going to find ways to do what I've got to do, but also be easy on myself. So take time out to actually cook meals, because I like to experiment a little bit in the kitchen, and that's a good way for me to like decompress and not get too stressed about it. I need to do the work, but I also need to give myself the space to kind of like,
Do you know what would be dope? Like for the next few days, if we can see you drop a little video on your Instagram to see how you're doing with that, that would be great.
Yes, Instagram life story, men. It's so long. It's actually long. So do you know, and we will wrap up, but I used to, so I think about Snapchat.
Yeah.
When Snapchat came out, I'd be snapping all day, every day. I'd be like, oh yeah, just went to see my dad. Look at him walking to the library. Oh yeah, just doing this at work. Oh yeah, Come the Instagram stories, for whatever reason, there's just something there that I'm just like, no. And I don't know what it is, but it's been like that. But, when I was in Dubai for the World Expo a few weeks ago, someone asked me, my friend Charlotte asked me to like document it for her because she couldn't go. And I was like, fine. And the only way I could do that was through stories. And I did it, and everyone loved it. And everyone was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, yeah, this isn't regular. Don't even try it. So, yeah, I will, because I'm holding myself accountable, I will share across the next couple of days on Insta how I'm doing with some of these things.
How you're batting that storm down, man.
Ooh. All right, it's been a good one.
Yeah, man.
Until next time.
Loved it.
All right, over and out. Deuces.